I thought, I was watching in the mirror behind me, the side mirror, she was driving, and I thought he was going to hit an oncoming car.
You stay very comfort.
Yeah.
This guy's boy.
Last night I was working, I was actually sitting over at the old PNC lot, running tags, and somebody chirped up on the radio, and I never met him. He works for McSherry's Town. He's like, 32.4 on, because they're on a whole different channel. He was in his private car, he had his portable with him. He said, hey, I'm behind this driver, he's all over the road. And I said, you just passed me? He said, yeah, I just passed you there at 116. So he's like, yeah, I'm right here. So we pulled him over. So I pulled him over. And he said, yeah, he almost hit the guardrail 2 or 3 times. And I walk up, and he's got this gigantic plate of green beans in the passenger seat with a fork or whatever. I'm like, and he's clearly not drunk or anything. Yeah, he was in a dealer car with dealer tags. And he said, I just got off a flight. I said, well, you've been followed, a couple miles, and it looks like you were all on the road. You almost hit guardrail. I was like, I can see you're not intoxicated. Are you eating while you're driving? He's like, yeah. I was just like, oh. I was like, pack away them green beans until you get home.
Yeah. Put them in the microwave for God's sake.
I'm eating too. That's the bad part.
Right.
Like this gentleman back here does. Good evening.
There's Mr. Disco.
There's my solicitor.
How's John doing
Mr.
tonight?
Disco.
Hello. Who's Bronco?
Not mine.
Oh, he's coming in now.
We know he's your buddy.
You're just.
Actually, I like those.
Hi, Adam.
How are you?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
I'm here.
Boy. Yeah, Kurt? What's new and exciting over your way?
I don't know, I've been away for a couple of weeks.
Good for you.
Yeah. But then look, when I got back, grass wasn't too high.
No.
So that was good, I guess. We must have got much rain.
No, we haven't had much at all. I didn't look at our gauge on those showers that we just had last night, yesterday. I know it wasn't much.
Well, you always wondered why you wore a sweater. It's so cold.
Oh, really? Hello. Are you excited?
No, you're good. You have an agenda though.
Mr. Cowles.
Hello, Mr. McLeaf. How are you today?
Sir.
I haven't seen you for a
Mr.
long
Liskel, my goodness. It's like old home week here.
Yeah. How you been? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Oh, can't complain.
Good. How's your mom getting along?
She's doing all right.
Good.
Doing all right. She got her good days.
She's got her faith.
I'm sorry?
She's got her faith.
She does.
Sure does.
And that helps.
You can have an agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Good,
how are you?
What are they doing?
Hey, it's
They'll tell you what.
Oh, I think it's
They'll tell you
Judy.
when they're coming out.
That's good. You'd be cold if you didn't bring a sweater? I didn't.
And then air conditioning on September 11.
Put it on your shoulder.
Can't put everybody.
I brought it just for people like you.
Thank you.
It's kind of surprising that.
Hey! Hey, what's up there?
How you doing?
Robert and Robert.
Yeah.
I thought I saw you up north this weekend.
What's that?
I thought I saw you up north this weekend.
What's the
That looks like
No, I wasn't up there.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't going up there this weekend. No,
Right, right.
no, I was up the weekend before. Yeah, we had a tournament, fishing.
Yeah, that's right, there was one.
The week before, not this weekend, last week.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Judy went, there she is.
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Soon
Is it good? That's good.
Okay.
Wait for the truck.
What's that?
On your way to the truck.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're going to play. I don't care how few you don't get it before I find somewhere in surgery. Oh dear.
Go read that.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
It's the news, so you gotta wait.
Oh, I see it's that.
It's that.
Alright.
How was your holiday weekend?
Oh, it's that one. It was good until the time conference, and then I trained some. Spent 2 days. Oh, Friday. That's not exactly Friday.
Got a haircut, huh?
Hey, congratulations on your win this weekend.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Let's get this meeting started. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Barlow?
Here.
Mr. Cottle?
Here.
Mr. Lowe?
Here.
So at this time, we'll receive public comments. Anyone have any public comments? No? No public comments? Supervisor comments, Larry?
I'd like to once again remind citizens that permits are necessary. We just recently particularly have had some instances where some local or residents have spent a lot of money on planning, engineering and so forth, but the first part of the whole thing is you gotta get a permit and then you can go to that. That expense is unnecessary really, or you shouldn't do it until you have a permit in your possession for any building or anything you want to do. So I'd like to remind residents once again, like I've done in the past, permits are important. You can call the office during hours and they certainly can guide you through that. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I don't know.
I have a couple of things that I want to bring to the Board of Supervisors and also to the general public. This coming month, at the end of the month, I think it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th, we have Fairfield, we have their annual Pitman Fest. On Saturday, I believe it's the 24th, FEMA, which is the Fairfield Regional Emergency Management Agency, in conjunction with the fire department, will be holding a sign-up table information booth for FEMA. FEMA is actually, this team puts together a strategy plan in case we have an emergency situation in our municipality or surrounding municipalities to respond to these calls, put things in action to assist the other townships and the emergency management and also police. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an information table out at the fire company this year. So please, we're encouraging people to stop by and visit this booth. What we're looking for is for sign-ups for people when we have, if we have like a few months ago, we had a search and rescue over in Cashtown, Ortana area for a young child that came up missing. We had a sign-up sheet for people that we could call to help assist us in that. It would be a lot quicker for us to do that. Not only, that's one incident, but there's many other incidents that could happen throughout our area that we may be called upon for FEMA. FEMA is called upon for all kinds of natural disasters or even man-made disasters, and we would need a volunteer list for people that can help us and assist us in dealing with different disasters. So please visit that table at the Fitness Fest, be it the fire company, and we appreciate anyone that participates. Another thing we got coming up, I have a meeting that I'm going to on at the end of the month, actually at the beginning of next month. It's called a employee retention strategy meeting. I've signed up to go to that. Everybody, I believe, is dealing with retention of employees for whatever reason, especially since pre-COVID has hit, and a lot of people are having difficulty finding people and keeping people. So this is a strategy roundtable discussion that we'll be talking about the fundamentals of motivation and generating and keeping the workforce in place within the townships. And the other thing that I'm going to be meeting with some of the local townships, other townships in our area, is the municipal joint force resources. And what that is Liberty Township and other townships come together to pull our resources together to help all townships to share the cost and the labor, doing things that we need to do to get things accomplished in the township. Also, it shows costs with equipment and everything like that. Wendy and I met with the DEC here not too long ago. We did an evaluation of Liberty Township, and it really opened our eyes that where municipalities and boroughs are moving forward in Pennsylvania. In the near future, and we're talking within the next 10 years, if people do not start joining forces, economically they will not be able to survive the increase in cost. So this is a cost sharing program. So I will be meeting with surrounding municipalities, talking with them, trying to work up some type of agreement with them that we can join forces to save taxpayer dollars and also get the maximum benefit out of what we already have in shared resources with other people. So those are a couple of things that we have going forward on the table over the next month or two. Hopefully at the end of the year we can enter into some contracts or some agreements with hopefully Powell Township and Freeman Township to do some of these things. We're already in agreement with Hamilton Bay at the moment. All right, that's
But also,
yeah.
he was rather pleased that we already have something in place, and he's seeing it more and more throughout the state, the benefit of it.
Yes. Yeah, it's all municipalities, DEC is recommending that all municipalities engage in this type of activity because with the trend they're seeing with the cost of everything going up, the small townships are absolutely not going to be able to survive under a resident tax base. There's not going to be able to do it. So you'll have to join forces or just close down the whole operation. So that's what we're actively trying to figure out a strategy for the next 5-10 years for Liberty Township particularly, but if it also helps other townships and benefits them as well as us, we're most certainly going to at least engage in these type of activities and see how it can help the township. Okay, that's all I have for supervisor comments. So we're going to move on to our August 2nd, 2022 regular monthly meeting minutes. And everyone have an opportunity to review those minutes and if so, can I have a motion to approve minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Treasury report for August 22. Everyone have an opportunity to review those reports.
Yep.
I have a motion to approve the report.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second?
Yep, I'll second that.
All in favor? Thank you. Expenses for invoices for 8/2/22 to 9/6/22. These are retroactive. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the expenses?
Yes.
Motion to approve it.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Thank you. Payroll for 7/31 to 8/13. Bobby, you were on the board for that. You have a motion to retroactively pay those payrolls.
Well, I reviewed them, so somebody else will.
Okay? You have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
And I'll second
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. 8/14 to 8/27, retroactive. Mr. Ray, you reviewed those and approved those for payroll. I'll make a motion that we accept that.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, township report. Mr. Reeves, you're up. You want to give the township police report?
Township police report. We had 12 911 incidents in Liberty Township for the month of August, with 7 state police calls that were handled. 34 traffic citations written, 3 warnings, and 4 DUI arrests were effectuated for August. In Freedom Township, we worked 25 hours and had 20 citations and 11 warnings written. In Highland Township, 25 hours worked and 27 citations, 5 warnings, and 1 emergency call for service. Touching on those 4 DUIs last month, one of them was the result of a crash that occurred on Track Road within Liberty Township. Looking forward to the month of September, the department's going to be participating in aggressive driving detail. That is something that we have been involved with for the last couple of years. We'll be doing some hours for aggressive driving in September, and per the policy, the body camera videos over 60 days will have been purged.
Anyone have any questions for Officer Reeves? No questions?
Are you, yeah, the Highland and Freedom, are they keyed in on any particular part of the policing? Say speed, stop signs, braking and enterings, or?
I guess I don't understand the question.
Well, do they prefer you running speed, or is it just general police work, in other words?
For Highland Township, they kind of have a holistic request
Okay.
for the police department. So when we're on duty in Liberty Township, we are also on duty in Highland Township. So when we get calls of service when we're on duty in Highland Township, we will respond to those, combined with patrolling mainly a lot of the campgrounds with the other businesses in the neighborhoods, as well as conducting traffic enforcement activities. Freedom Township, when we're on duty in Freedom Township, we will handle calls for service for Freedom Township. However, if we are not actively in Freedom Township, we are off duty. So we call on here, we are not automatically on duty in Freedom as we are in Highland. And Freedom has contracted with us and specifically wanted to highlight traffic enforcement.
That's what I was getting at.
Yes.
If they had anything in particular they were keying on or not.
When we initially obtained the contract with Freedom Township, they specifically wanted the roads, Bullfrog Road, Emmitsburg Road, and pumping station were specifically addressed. We keep checks over at Saks Bridge and the areas of Freedom Township as well when we're on duty.
Okay, thank you.
Officer Reeves, I wanted to ask you a question. Well, not ask you a question. It is correct that we've signed a new 3-year contract with Freedom Township.
Yes.
And we're in the process of trying to sustain and hold a 3-year contract with Highland.
That is correct.
Thank you. Any other questions for the police officer? All right, zoning, enforcement. Let me get to that page. When did you do anything on the zoning page? We have anything about flipped in here on the page? I found it, never mind. Alright, so for the month of August, we had 6 permits. They were issued for a total of $425. 1 well permit for $50, for a total of $475 for the zoning. And other things that have to do with zoning here, we have item number 2, the 2650 Bullfrog Road, ongoing zoning violations. That particular property, I believe right now, the zoning officer is recommending that they continue starting back up with citations because the owner of that property has ceased the cleanup of the property, and that's kind of what we're at. Why, do you have any info on that? Is that where we're at?
No, other than what I found out was that there was a bit of a family squabble about the property right now, so other than taking down what they have, cleaned up what they have, it's at a standstill at the moment.
So we to instruct our zoning officer to start reinforcement practices on this particular property again.
That would probably be the right move because it's at a standstill. Maybe that'll get things moving again.
I'll make a motion that we instruct municipal authorities to go and to address 2650 Bullfrog Road and take appropriate actions to open this back up and get it moving again.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
3257 Bullfrog Road, ongoing zoning violation. We have a hearing coming up on the 26th of September, I believe, with this particular property owner. And again, I'm going to go to this hearing representing the township along with our zoning officer. And the recommendation is to go forward with filing charges against the individual. This has been going on for 3 years. He's been cited multiple times and continues not as defined being in compliance with township ordinances. So that's my recommendation. Any questions or any discussion?
No, we'll see what happens after the hearing.
The next is 340 Brent Road, Fairfield, unpermitted earth disturbance compliance due to August the 30th. August 30th is came and gone, or not in compliance. This is not something that we are handling ourselves, but the Department of Environmental Protection is involved in, and also land conservation. My last conversation with Rusty Ryan from Land Conservation was that the man is not in compliance. They want to move forward with, and also the DEP had said that they did not meet the requirements per their instructions, so they're moving forward with legal action on that. That's just an update from them on that particular property. Next thing is the septic program pumping inspection violations and the citations that were filed in 8/8/22. I don't remember exactly how many citations that was filed. Wendy, do you know how many were filed?
I think it was 16, approximately 16.
And they are now in the magistrate's office.
Yes, he filed them, the magistrate would have sent letters, and the people would respond to the letter whether they want to hear it or not. I did call the magistrate today, so they did say the letters went out. Some people have responded. One person has a hearing scheduled. It's
Okay.
just like if you get a traffic ticket, you can call and request a hearing, or you can plead guilty and pay the fine. I think they give you 3 tries and then they'll issue a warrant.
Okay. You guys have any questions about that?
Could I speak on that?
I believe Mr. McLeod is here
Okay.
to talk about his.
Was he on the agenda?
He's included in the packet under there.
Okay. Mr. McCray, go ahead.
I don't know how things work here, it speaks.
No, that's fine, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Craig McLeod. I have a property at 620 Glad Hill Road in Liberty Township. I have, according to Wendy, I'm in violation of having a tank pump, although I did have it pumped last week. The situation was I called Mr. Scheller. He told me he was going to pump my tank back in March or April, whenever the taxes were due. And he went to my driveway, and he didn't feel comfortable going down my driveway, but he never left me know. So I came in to pay my taxes this time, and I asked if the paperwork ever came in, because Mr. Shearer never sent me a bill. I said, oh no, you've been sent to the magistrate. I said, well, that's fine, but I thought it was pumped. You know, I wasn't trying to do anything wrong. I paid my taxes early. I wasn't. So anyhow, I took the next day off, tracked down Mr. Scheller, had the tank pumped. I realized I was in violation, but I'm asking the township to drop their charges against me, because we don't want to get charged $1,000 a day, and really, that's not even my address. I just go back there and stay on the weekend, so the tank road didn't even need pumped. But I understand it's a requirement. I'm sure you have to write the DEP report. So I'm asking that you drop the charges against me. But with that, you know, I come in here and these girls, they do a great job trying to keep track of all this. I think there needs to be a simpler way for your customers that live in the township, because, you know, they won't release it until these guys send in a report. And that's kind of, and the way I'm understanding from these girls, none of them really send the reports in on a regular basis. I think, you know, maybe you could adjust your policy to send in a receipt, and then you know it got pumped. And then, I mean, then at least you wouldn't have to, because they spent time calling these companies, making sure that all these, because they didn't want to charge somebody with this violation. I mean, it's some people can't afford it. In my case,
We don't either, we just wanna get the septic tank pumped.
and I understand, and again, I thought I had it taken care of. Now, I know now that I'm gonna have to go see Mr. Sheller, because it's in my driveway, it's not your problem, and I know, if you wanna, if I still need to go to court, that's fine. My driveway is really steep. I mean, it was the part of the old hunt club up there on the right-hand side down in. And matter of fact, I lined up a tow truck, because I really had to talk him into coming in and pumping that tank. And Wendy wasn't giving me any leeway on it either. So I actually had Joey Warner from Keystone lined up to pull him out just in case. You can call Joey and ask him. So I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. It's my mistake. But I would appreciate some.
Well, one thing that I'll say, Mr. McLeaf, is we, as the board, it's already went to the magistrate and filed. We cannot waive that. Now it's in his hands, so you'll have to take your case to him. Because once it's submitted to the magistrate to take action, it's out of our hands.
So it kind of works different here then, because I have apartments and things of that sort, and we always call the magistrate and say, hey, we've collected our.
Well, the thing about this here is this is a 3-year process. This is, apparently you're saying that you got this pumped on the 31st of August.
Well, I thought it was already pumped.
Well, it was a 3-year process, because this thing is 3 years in the making. This just didn't happen last month. It happened 3 years ago. That you were issued a letter.
No, I only lived there 3 years. I didn't even know your
There was
policy.
3 letters sent. So did you get the letters?
The first letter I did not get. The second, and the second letter I did, and I started working on it.
Well, see, the problem we have here is we have 16 people who are in
Right.
violation. And didn't comply, they got the same letters as you had too. For whatever reason, they decided not to pump. Or we don't know. It got turned into magistrate now, the township had to bring our zoning officer involved in it, get him to file charges, and now those charges are filed. You can most certainly go and argue the case before the magistrate, and if he finds that, you know what, we can dismiss these, we're fine with that. You guys fine with that?
I'm fine with that myself.
But as far as us, we're not gonna take any action to stop any proceedings now because it's already entered into court. The township has incurred costs to this whole process too. So for us to give you, to say, well, we'll dismiss his, if we have 15 other people come and say the same thing, what are we supposed to do?
Well, we can't do it.
We can't.
We can't, because it's already been put forth to the magistrates.
And actually, what you have here, it's a receipt, but it's not your pumping report. We don't have any verification.
And that's why I'm here.
Right.
Okay, I'll go to the magistrate, that's fine, but I think you guys have a problem here. That I have a receipt, but they're not getting the pumping reports, and that's not fair to your customers. There might be some of those people
If I
there that.
understand, you said you got it pumped on the 31st.
I understand I'm in violation. I understand what I did, okay? But this receipt's not good enough.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. And the thing is we're using the same procedures, and correct me if I'm wrong, that every other township is using as far as recording.
Yeah, they're requiring the actual person doing the pumping the report because
It's
there
back
were
in the manual.
well, there were problems with some residents forging receipts and submitting them to town. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying other townships.
And I understand that, but if they don't turn the reports in, I mean, I'm not one of those guys. I mean, Wendy clearly pointed that out in the email, but I'm not one of those people.
And the thing is, what we're trying to do is address this, and we are addressing those things with the different haulers. But we're not the only township that's having that problem. Every township is dealing with these haulers or having the same exact problem. But what we're doing is following EPA's, what they're saying by law, we have to do. So we're doing according to what we're instructed to do by the Department of Environmental Protection. The haulers, unfortunately, maybe there is some procedural matters that need to be addressed either by our township or by the Department of Environmental Protection to make these guys come in compliance. Because like you said, sometimes they're pumping people, we don't even know they pump. And then Wendy, as you said, Wendy gets on the phone, we hired a part-time person to help Wendy for this specific matter to chase these things down. And that's why we have a young lady in here now. She's been addressing some of these things. And so we are moving forward trying to address these things. But unfortunately, in your case, you go to the magistrate, you tell him what you got, and he most certainly will say, okay, we're satisfied, and you're done. And we have no objections to that whatsoever.
Okay, well, like I said, I've had tanks in other townships, I never got turned over to the magistrate, so I just.
Well, like I
said,
said, the problem with
been-
these here, they got turned over because they were 3 years past due.
Well,
Not
yeah, that's part because you guys, during COVID, I sent out a letter saying you were gonna extend it.
We did.
We did.
But that was at the
So-
2-year mark. We extended another year.
Right.
So 3 years. So you had, when
So-
you initially got the letter to pump, you had 2 years.
And that's when the mail got all goofy, so, you know, it's just, so.
That's unfortunate.
But I have another question, it's not on this, because
Okay.
I had a permit to build a garage, okay? And I was being honest, okay? And I put in there a future apartment, okay? And you guys pulled my permit. So, and then I needed land development things. So my question is, because now, you said about permits, so I had my permit. My question is, and you're here, so maybe you can answer it. My question is, I was gonna do a garage, I had my land use permit, everything was fine. When it said a future apartment, all of a sudden I needed a land development plan. Now, I do this all the time, and I couldn't understand what changed that I needed a whole land development plan.
How was your permit? Did your permit expire?
No. Matter of fact, I had my land use permit, they hadn't even approved. It was at, Commonwealth? Was that Commonwealth?
I'll answer real quick. Under the municipalities planning code and in our ordinance, once you change a property from one residential to 2 residential, you have to file a land development plan. That's what's required. Or if you change a property from residential to commercial, you have to file a land development plan. That's what, and you're going from, that's the answer.
That's all I need to know. So I can submit a plan in for my garage without an apartment.
Because it's still, that's part of the main residence. But once you say you're adding 2 apartments and.
Well, it was back in 2019. I've been busy. I have other projects.
Okay.
And, but that's what I needed. I knew
Now,
I was
the
glad to
permit-
see you here. I knew you'd be able to
If it's
answer.
2019, the permit's only for 1 year.
Oh, the permit's no good. You guys yanked it. So you guys pulled it, and I didn't have time. You know, COVID hit, and I had other.
So you can reapply.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna redesign the garage and I'll just reapply. I just wanted to make sure that if I submit for a garage, it's not gonna be a problem.
Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
Okay, got it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Mr. McLean.
No, that's fine.
Alright, let's see what else do we have on here for that. Anything? Alright, road department, yeah, okay, the road department, we did, last month, we ended up getting the road, Old Waynesboro Pike, the abutment under the bridge complete, that was done. It took us not quite a week, we had actually started off a week for that, it took us actually 3 days. Since then, the bridge, state had been out and inspected the bridge prior to us finishing it, so we got our inspection report today. It did not show the improvements we made, so I'm gonna call him back out, to do a re-inspection of that particular road. We are gonna start, was gonna start today, but things got pushed back because of the rain. Next week, we're gonna start finishing up with Laughlin, the ditching work, and putting, ballast down along the east side of the Laughlin Road at the top of the hill, going down towards Freedom Line. That's one of the projects we're gonna work on. Another thing's going forward for the road department, we're slotted to, in October to try to get some canopy opening up. So that's pretty much what's going on with the road. Bruce has continued to do the mowing along the roads. Other than that, that's all we have for the road department, other than, let's see, we drove a total of 778 miles for the month. We used 41.2 gallons of unleaded gas, 11.1 on-road diesel, and 51 off-road diesel. That's the road department. Planning commission.
In August, there was no business for the planning commission, so there was no meeting, so there's no report.
Okay. Secretary treasurer, draft budget.
Yes, I'm still working with the departments on the draft 2023 budget, and we'll have an update by October.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy. All right, any other old business? No old business? New business, consider a motion to approve the request for a waiver of the zoning hearing board application fee for 2022, August 30th, zoning hearing board. It's a variance for 25C17-026-000-1005 Petro Road, Millette property. Mr. Millette has requested that we waive the fee for the zoning hearing board variance that he's requesting. He had put in and spoke with PMC about a project that he had on his property at 1005 Petro Road. And upon their recommendation requirements, he went ahead and spent over $4,000 in plans drawings for an apartment in-laws quarters, and now he's found out that he needs to get a variance. He's applying for a variance. He's asking the board, because of this mistake was on the zoning, that we would waive $800 fee for that variance here. I make a motion that we waive it. Has anyone else, Bobby, have any questions about it, any concerns?
No, I think he's doing the right thing. It's just unfortunate the way it came down. Apologies.
Yeah, it's taking you down the wrong road.
I'll tell you what, it sure has, and I'll second that motion.
Do you have any concern about it? So the motion's been made, it's been seconded, all in favor?
Mr. Barber, I believe you omitted public comments on new business items.
Oh, sorry about that, I will go back to that. Any public comments on the new business? Okay, no public comments, we'll move on to item B. Acknowledging the receipt for 2 zoning hearing board applications. The first one is, again, August the 30th, zoning hearing board application for a variance for the accessory apartment at 1005 Petro Road in the left property. The other zoning hearing is the 31st for special exception for a shooting range at property is 25C180050. It's in Williamsport Pike. That is the Nola Holdings, which is right out the end of the road there. They're asking the board to consider, or the zoning board to consider a private shooting range. The only reason they're asking for a variance is because it's in the land conservation district. It is allowed use under special acceptance, so they have to go to the zoning hearing board for that. And Wendy, we have not called the other variance.
That has not come through yet.
Okay.
There's no application for that, and it's still pending the zoning officer's review.
Okay, all right, so those are the 2 variances that are coming up for the
Yeah,
zoning hearing board, scheduled for the 30th and the
Yeah, they're
31st.
still being scheduled, actually. That's the date of the application.
Yes, those are the dates that, will they schedule those for the same day?
They're trying to schedule them for the same day. They're shooting for the end of September. And
Okay,
they've already received the applications and contacted the zoning hearing board.
okay, all right, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on to item C, is consider a motion to approve the request for the waiver of the planning, submission to Alan Beckett for Bullfrog Road property. Have any, questions on that?
They're different properties, all
There are
Yeah.
different properties, they're all in that Sharnita, land where they've been, bringing those properties under one piece, consolidating them where they can build on it. Because right now, they're too small of lots to be buildable lots, so the only way they can do it is to consolidate the lots. Is that correct, Wendy?
Yeah.
So, I'll make a motion that for item C, that we waive the planning submission.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number D, consider a motion to approve the Sharnita lot consolidation plan by Alan Beckett, for the above mentioned lot. Make a motion that we approve that.
I'll second it.
In favor? Aye. Consider a motion to approve request for waiver of the plan submission written as Parsons Trail. That is there at Girl Scout. In case you guys do not know where we're at, the Girl Scout camp.
Yeah.
When you turn into your driveway, there's lots right along the side of that driveway. They wanted, waiver submission plans on those. Make a motion to do that.
I'll second it.
In favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Consider a motion for approval of the Sharnita lots at above mentioned places. I make a motion that we approve the consolidation of those lots.
I'll second it.
In favor?
Aye.
Thank you. G, consider and accept the 2023 minimum municipal obligation for the pension plan. This is a standard thing that we have to do each year. Make a motion that we accept the 2023 minimum municipal obligation plan.
I'll second
All in favor? Thank you. Item H, 2022 Adams County Library requests a contribution of $500, which we budgeted for our contribution to them. I'll make a motion that we honor the obligation that we made in the beginning of the year.
that. I'll second that.
All in favor? Thank you. Consider a motion to take no action in the September 30th Adams County tax upsell. This is a standard thing that Adams County does. We don't have any objections into this. So I'll make a motion that we take no action.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. We have an employee resignation that was given to the supervisors. Each one of you should have a copy of that resignation. Do you have a copy?
Yep.
Did you have an opportunity to review it?
Yes, I have. And I'll make a motion to accept the resignation.
Mr. Rob,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
We accept the resignation of Richard Haywood from the Township Road Department. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the last one is an intermunicipal agreement that I just spoke to you guys about and under supervisor comment. I do have a meeting planned with Highland Township for, I think it's next week, next Tuesday, I believe, or Tuesday or Wednesday, to talk to their supervisors in their public comment time and about this municipal agreement. So I wanted to bring that to the board's attention. I have also sent out information to Highland Township, looking forward to talking to them also about the intermunicipal agreement. So, any other, items not mentioned tonight that you fellows need to talk about, feel we need to talk about?
None on my desk.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you very much. That's how it goes.